Hi guys, today I'm going to be teaching you 3x3 cube notation. Now the first thing we want to know is, well, we're not going to be focusing on finger tricks, but obviously the notation. So we're going to start off with R and R prime. So R is turning the right face up, so like this. And R prime is basically the opposite, so if it has a prime, it's just the opposite. So instead of moving it up, we'll move it down. So this is R prime, R prime, so R prime, R, R prime, R. Anyway, hope you get that. Now we're going to do U and U prime. So U is this way. So we're going to be turning the top this way. So right to the right. So like this. So turning it to the left like this. So like that. And then U prime is just the opposite. So instead we do it from here. Here. U prime, U prime, U prime. Well, U prime, U anyway. Now let's move on to the other ones. So let's go F and F prime. So let's start off with F. So you're going to be holding the R layer, U layer. Now it's basically front. So basically R for right, U for up, I guess, and then yeah, anyway. So it is front. So you're going to turn the front down like this. So this is F prime. This one right here. Sorry, not F prime, F. So F is where the front face goes down like this. And where the front face goes up, that is F prime. So this is F. So we're going to be moving it down. And then F prime is moving it up. So let's do this again. F, F prime. Okay, now let's move on to the D moves. So D moves go the opposite way of U and U prime. So this is D. So we want to turn the bottom the same way we would do U prime. And then this is D, so turning the bottom to where if I'm facing white on top, blue in front, we're turning it where we can see the red. And then D prime is basically where I can see the orange, so we're turning it the other way. So D, D prime, D, D prime. And yeah, so sorry, D, D prime. Okay, now that should be all straight. Now the last one, well the second last one, is going to be B. So B moves the same way as the U, so U prime, except it's on the back. So we are going to, you can actually rotate up, and then that also counts as a B move, but let's not do that. So you're going to be turning the back, so this way. So if you're doing white on top, blue in front, the orange will be on the back here. So turn it back. And then if you do a B prime, the red will be there. So as I just said, it goes the same way as U. So U prime, U, B prime, B. Yeah, so just one more time. B. So the orange goes up if you do white on top, blue in front. So B. And then B prime, which is where the red goes. So B, B prime. Okay, now let's go into the final one of the final notation of just the moves. And this is going to be M, which is moving the middle layer up and just the middle layer. So how we're going to be turning it is we are going to be using this finger here. So our ring finger. And we're going to be using it and moving the M layer up. So just like this. So we're turning it up. Like that. Yeah, like that. So if you do white on top, blue in front, that would be yellow in the middle. if you do, so actually, no, sorry, that's M prime. So moving it up is M prime, and moving it down is M. So I like to do it with my pointer. Just grab the top bit here, pull down. Okay, now the last one, before we explain the wide moves, which is moving 2 layers at once, we're going to do L. So L goes down like this. So this is a normal L, not L prime. So L, which is where we're going down. So we're pushing it down. And L prime is where it goes up. So L, L prime, L, L prime. Okay, now this is where we get into the wide moves, which is basically moving 2 layers at once. Now I'm going to start with R and R prime wide, and then U prime wide, and then L prime wide. Since you won't be using D wide and B wide that much. Okay, so let's start off with this. So how you can recognize that you need to do a 2-layer turn is when instead of the layer being uppercase like this, so this is like a U, it's lowercase like this. So what we're going to do, oopsies, is we are basically going to do the same move except with 2 layers. So I'll start off with R prime. So instead of doing R and then R prime like that, instead we are going to take 2 layers. So move 2 layers up instead of 1. So this is R and then R prime. So the same except with 2 layers as I just said. So R prime. And we're not doing 2 layers like that. We're doing 2 layers where you hold it and then you also turn like the middle layer when you're doing R, L, and U and D moves, D wide moves. You can also just call them lowercase moves and call them whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Just matters as long as you know how to do them and you know how to recognize them. Okay, so R prime. Now let's start off with U prime. This is U. Instead of turning like this, we are turning like this. So with the middle layer. So U. You do white on top, blue in front. If you do U, lowercase U, you should get orange along here. And then if you do U prime, lowercase U prime, you should get red there instead. So yeah, now let's do L, lowercase L and lowercase L prime. So lowercase L, so we're going to move this down where the white is now here. So all of the turns I'm doing is white on top, blue in front. So then you can just base it off what I'm doing. So down, instead of doing this, so going down, we are going down with 2 layers. And then L prime is just the same, instead of going up like this, we go up with 2 layers. Okay, now the final one of all of them, well the second final one actually, is F, lowercase f and lowercase f prime. So lowercase f is where we're going to pull down, so instead of doing this, so moving this down, then back up, we're going to do it with the middle layer. So we're going to see the middle layer turn down. So just like that. So if you do it like how I'm doing, you should have a red thing here. Then F prime, that should be orange. Then you just, so how I do it is I look at this bit here and I grab my thumb and then I just move my thumb up. And how I do the other bit is just grab my pointer and then push down. So F, F prime, F. Now for the final one, it is going to be D and then D prime. So both lowercase, obviously. So start with lowercase d. So instead of doing this, we do it with 2 layers. So you can also just do it like that if you want to. So do it like this. Also soon I will be releasing a finger trick video, so then you can know how I do all my awesome moves. quote. Yeah, so D. So where red is now here. and then D prime. Now that is the end of the tutorial. If you find this too complicated, comment down below and I will create a new one and make it as least just forget what I said then. Not complicated, like, at all, kind of. Where I could begin and could not. But if you were able to find out all the moves, that is good. Also, soon I will be creating a OL and PLL tutorial, maybe this week or in a few weeks, I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment good stuff if you enjoyed. Anyway, bye.